Personally, I don't think there's anything super special about the video that you were about to watch, but one of my goals with this vlogging channel is to just re-normalize everyday average life. I am just a regular wife and mom. I work from home making food content for my other YouTube channel, and I challenged myself this past week to pick up my camera and just chat with you for a few minutes each day and kind of take you through the week with me. So it's not Pinterest perfect. It's not something you'll find in a magazine article by any stretch of the imagination. It's just what life looks like for this busy mom in this particular season. It is Sunday, and this week it's sort of a day for rest and reset and kind of get ready for the week. So that's what we've been doing today. We all got to sleep in just a little bit. I got my walk in. Of course, there were always a few little chores that we're trying to do around the house. The kitchen wasn't in terrible shape. Just finished up cleaning it up from last night and yesterday. We're always doing laundry, so gotta keep that moving. We got to all attend worship as a family. And then since we've been home, we've been mostly just kind of resting, relaxing. We've watched a little football, take a look at our week, the week ahead. Sundays don't always look this way for us. Sometimes it's a work day for us, either because of the work that my husband's doing or the work that I'm doing. In addition to running 2 YouTube channels, all of the mom and wife stuff that happens, I am working in a very part-time capacity at our church in the worship department. So sometimes Sundays look like, a weekday might. Overall, it's actually been a pretty slow-paced weekend for us. We did have soccer, swim meet, and volleyball yesterday. On Friday night, my husband and I got to enjoy a date night. Sometimes we have to schedule that, get that on the schedule so we know not to put anything else over the top of it. But happened to be a bye week in football, so our daughter, who's in marching band, did not have obligations this weekend, which is fantastic. So I'm glad we could squeeze that in this weekend as well. And that's really been the key for us too when it comes to weekends and finding a Sabbath or a day of rest, is to try to be intentional about it. And when we have a super busy Sunday, trying to find another day within the weekend or very near to it when we can get some rest, when we can hit that reset button. And even if we aren't successful in that 100% of the time, 80% of the time we're successful in finding a day for rest and delight. The weeks when we can't, the weeks when it's just super busy and we've got to just launch into our week having not had very much time to prepare for it, it's not going to be the end of the world, because all the other times we've managed to do that. So we kind of have some order. We have some order saved up, for those weeks when we need to borrow some from another time that's not as busy. Right now I'm hurrying home because I think the sky's about to open up. It is Tuesday, a very overcast Tuesday, but I'm happy to see it because last week was pretty brutal weather-wise. This happens every year in Oklahoma. It's sort of like the last gasp of summer. We get some cooler weather for a little while, so we think fall has arrived, but then it heats back up, and that's what we had last week. So I'm happy to see the overcast day, but I'm weird. I like kind of rainy, dreary days sometimes. Maybe I'm weird like that. I like that weather. What does that say about me? Does that say something bad about me, that I really enjoy kind of the cloudy day? I guess I wouldn't like it if it's all we had. I'd want to see the sun. I don't know. I just especially like this kind of day after we've had a heat wave. I just finished up a jog. I'm working my way again through the Couch to 5K program. I find that just to be an easy way to kind of get back into running. I'm not on a timeline. In fact, sometimes I even repeat some of the workouts before I go on to the next week. If you're familiar with that, it sort of gradually builds up your running intervals until you can run the 5K. I don't really have a deadline in mind, except I guess maybe by Christmas time. I would love to be running 3 miles consistently, which I could probably do today if I had to. It would just be really, really slow. And actually, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, for years, I thought that I wasn't a runner or I couldn't jog because I would be so breathless after 5 minutes, but it's because I was trying to go too fast. When I slowed down, I have consistently been able to work back up to fairly decent distances. In fact, right before COVID hit, I was training for a half marathon. I never ran that. Probably will never run that, but still. 3 miles I should be able to do here pretty soon. Hello, it is Tuesday, and Tuesday is already more than half gone. I spent a lot of the morning getting ready for the housekeeper. I used to think having a housekeeper, when I thought of it as a kid, was like Alice from the Brady Bunch, where somebody picks up after you and makes all your meals and does all of the chores and everything. That is not what it is. In fact, I would say that you actually have to have your stuff together. You at least have a deadline for having your stuff together, because a housekeeper doesn't like keep my house clean in the interim. They're just coming in to do the bathrooms, to change the sheets, to like wipe down the counters and mop the floors. And if our stuff is everywhere, if we don't get the sheets through the wash, if we don't get things off of the counters and put away where it goes, then they can't do their job, you know? And it's something that we have done for a long time. Even like when I was working full-time as a teacher and we were making less money than we are now, we would just, you know, make some sacrifices, make some room for it in the budget, because number one, it helped take a few things off of our plates, especially on the weekends when we would have probably been doing that work. But also, it was helpful in giving us a deadline for getting things together too. I know that sounds backwards, but it's almost like every 2 weeks, I know we're going to hit the reset button. And in order to hit the reset button, we have to do all the stuff that's necessary for it to happen, so we get it done. So now I've just been out running some errands. I stopped by Whole Foods already to do an Amazon return. I'm at Target now because I need to return something else in a Walmart sack. Hopefully that doesn't look too fishy. And, you know, just doing all the mom errands I kind of save for this day so I can just do them all and continue to be productive when I'm out of the house. Since it's Tuesday, that means family dinner. This just happens to be a night right now when all of us are home. We don't have like a lot of activities or anything that are taking us out of the house. It's not a day of the week usually when my husband has meetings or is traveling, so we've been trying to make an effort to make sure that we're all like eating at the same time. I try to enjoy being in my kitchen, making something yummy. Tonight it's gonna be a request from the kids. It's a tried and true family favorite, cheesy sausage pasta. It's from Budget Savvy Diva. I've made it many times over on my other channel, so I'll leave it linked down below. I planned to make that last week, and then we just had some other stuff pop into our schedule and we ended up, you know, eating leftovers or picking up takeout or something like that. So I'm gonna make it tonight. My husband stopped by a bakery. He was at a lunch meeting and he saw a place to pick up some cookies to try. We're really excited about these. They look kind of like crumble, but the name of the place is Crave. I think if you're in the Tulsa area, it's in the Utica area, Utica Square. So anyway, that's what's happening tonight. I'm getting ready to get started on that, sip on my wine, got the snacks out so that everybody will stop by and visit with me. They would do that anyway, but I just like to entice them with food so that they'll come chat with me while I work in the kitchen, which is my favorite place to be. It is Wednesday. I just pulled into my church. I am working part-time in the music ministry here. That's my background, by the way, for anybody who's watching who doesn't know. I taught music, choral music, for, I don't know, the better part of 20 years, probably 15 plus years in schools and churches. I taught 11 years in schools. I've taught in several different churches in different capacities, either running like the choir program or starting the children's choir program or just kind of standing in the gap wherever they needed me. So we started attending this church a year ago, and they, you know, you can't ignore when the Lord shows you a place where, you know, you have a certain set of skills and they need that, and they had an opening for a choir director. So I said I would help them. I don't know how long I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to be successful because it's completely different than most of the choirs I've done before. I am classically trained. I teach like traditional choral music typically. This is a modern worship service, but they have a choir, and I have seen ways that a choir can be incorporated into modern worship really well. So it has to do with music selection. It has to do with the accompaniment, how the band integrates with the choir. And so I feel like we're sort of trying to create something new here, which is exciting for me. But at the same time, sometimes I'm a little scared that I'm not going to be successful, but I'm just taking it one day at a time. And of course, keeping the faith that the Lord will equip me with what I need. If this is what I'm supposed to be doing, He'll help me, you know, He will. It is Thursday, and it's kind of noisy on the road behind me. Hopefully you can hear me. I've been working outside a little bit, editing. I have been spending almost the entire day on a project. I wanted to film and edit a video completely in a single day. And it kind of had to be because of the way that because of the topic of the video. You will have seen it on my other channel by now. Basically, I went to Aldi and I shopped the sale, and then I came up with a meal plan utilizing a lot of the sale items and some other stuff in Aldi. But the thing about that is the sales are only good for a week. So if I do my typical thing where I'm filming, you know, a week or 2 weeks ahead of time, Like a lot of times I'm filming videos and then taking a week to edit them or get them to sponsors. I just stay ahead of my schedule, you know. The way I normally do, I can't make a video like that because by the time it comes out, all those sales will be over. Which I know people can still make the meals and it's probably still gonna be pretty cheap if it's coming from Aldi, but I was trying to get a video out so like people who are shopping over the weekend could duplicate this grocery haul and meal plan or part of it if they wanted to, like to give some inspiration for, hey, here's what I bought, here's what I made. And so the way I went about it is planning some meals that are like recipes I've already made, so I could still feature some of the B-roll and just talk about the meals and say, hey, this is what we're making, I've made it before, turned out great. I'll leave a link in the description box to that video if you need more instructions. But we're having green chili chicken stew with these ingredients. You know, hopefully that makes sense. You've seen the video already if you watch my other channel, and I'll leave that link in the description box just in case you haven't. But I've been like tunnel vision. Like that's what I've been doing because it's not an easy thing to plan, film, and edit that style of video. You know, like a vlog like this, well, this is a week-long vlog, but like a daily vlog, it's a little bit easier. But something that requires probably over 100 clips and B-roll clips is just a lot harder to put together in that time frame. But we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. Hello, it is Saturday. You might be wondering what happened to Friday, and I completely forgot to film. It was a very full day, so put a pin in that. We'll come back to it. I just pulled back into the house. It's actually just a little after 9, so we didn't have a super early morning, which is great. Of course, I'm coming back from the band room because I had to take my daughter and her friend over to the high school. They have their first marching contest today, so I'm super excited. They have rehearsal this morning and then prelims this afternoon, so I'll get over to the contest later. But for now, I'm just having a few more sips of my coffee and we'll go out for a little stroll and I'll tell you all about Friday. Yesterday, Friday, it was a great and busy day. My oldest daughter did not have school. They had distance learning, so they have basically homework, but she did still have band practice in the morning. So I got her over to band practice, and then she has been asking to go shopping and spend some of her birthday money. So I hurried to finish up that video I was telling you guys about on Thursday that I was filming like all in one day. I got it done, I got it posted. I think it's doing pretty well. And when I picked her up from band practice, we came home for a little bit and had a bite to eat. And then she and I went out and shopped at the mall. She went to Kendra Scott and got her birthday month like discount jewelry. She'd been wanting a pair of earrings. She got a pair of jeans at Old Navy, and you know, just kind of got to spend an afternoon with her. My 2 younger kids still had school like normal. Well, I guess it wasn't like normal because my 6th grader had a field trip, and actually Daniel chaperoned the field trip. So my husband took them to school, and then he was on the field trip all day with McKenna and came home. I think that's him behind me. He's out walking too. He just like whistled at me. And we spent the evening at various football games. I got Ruthie back to the band room. They had an away game, and so they were busing the band over to the away game, but they weren't actually marching. They weren't going to get to march their show. They were going to play stand tunes. And actually, since Ruthie's on front ensemble, she's basically just going for moral support. She didn't have anything to play during the game. She's just going along with the band. So we opted to take the 2 littles to their school's football game, which is a very, very small school. So we have 1 kid at a very, very big school and 2 kids at a very, very small school. And we go like to both the different sporting events. And it's interesting just how different it was. But it was a great time. It was a lovely evening. Throughout the day, my husband and I still had like little work tasks that we were trying to get done to kind of finish up the work week. That was that. But I didn't get I didn't get the phone out. I didn't get the camera out. I didn't get any of it on camera, and that's okay. In fact, as somebody who makes her living, or part of our living, part of our family income from putting out content on the internet, I think you would be shocked how little of my kids' events that I watch from behind a camera. I don't film as much of it because I want to be like present. I want to actually watch it live. When I was teaching, I started to try to have like one person make a recording of concerts and programs and shows. We contracted with the musical. I mean, that's a whole other can of worms because of rights and royalties, but even with the concerts and stuff, so that I could tell the parents, hey, we're filming this. We will make it available so that you can have your own copy. We want you to be present and just be able to watch so you don't have to worry about getting your phone out. I can't tell you how many of my kids, like school functions, somebody has gotten their phone or even their iPad out and they're like holding it up, filming the entire thing to the point where it's an obstruction to the people behind them. And I know people are gonna be like, that's my right, I wanna film everything, I just don't wanna forget anything. But how much of that are people really going back and watching after the fact? I guess I'm just a person like, I wanna be able to experience it in the moment and not have to refer back to the video. So I might get a picture, I might get, 5 or 10 seconds or maybe, 30-second sample of something that happened in that particular program, maybe. And then I'll, put the phone or the camera away and I'll just watch the rest of it. And I'm just not gonna like watch my kid do this thing that they've practiced or rehearsed or prepared for through the lens of a camera instead of like happening right in front of me. It's just me. Just walked in the door from the soccer game, a little bit worse for the wear. It was actually really nice out, but kind of breezy, obviously. But Brick had soccer, we won. And now we have like an hour and a half or so until we're, on to the next thing. Okay, got a quick shower, quick wardrobe change to the appropriate spirit wear for the next activity, which is marching band contest. But first, we're gonna drop this guy off at the airport. It's sort of a funny thing. We got a notification that the flight was delayed, and then we got another notification.
It said it was less delayed.
It said it was less delayed. So we were like, oh, we've got plenty of time. And then we're sitting there on the couch watching some football, and all of a sudden he gets this email saying, oh, the flight's not really delayed anymore. We gotta go. So I don't think we'll have any problems still, but airport shenanigans.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights,